The following is tape number 1 from the Nectar of Devotion series, given by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, recorded between October 20th and November 14th, 1972, India.
Of his action in the present body. These activities are taken into account by a superior authority known as Daiva, or the authority of God. This Daiva is explained in the Bhagavad Gita as the prime cause of everything. And in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that a man takes his next body by Daiva Netrena, which means by the supervision of the authority of the Supreme. In an ordinary sense, Daiva is explained as destiny. Daiva supervision gives us a body selected from 8,400,000 forms. The choice does not depend on our selection, but is awarded to us according to our destiny.
So, material rasas that is being experienced in different types of body. That's like somebody wants to taste fresh blood, flesh and blood. So, he is given the next life a body like a tiger, like a other carnivorous animal, and he tastes very nicely blood and flesh. Nature gives all the facilities. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarva ahankara vimuratma kartaham iti mannade. Prakriti, nature is doing everything. I am desiring something, that means I am contacting the certain type of the modes of material nature. This is also explained in the Bhagavad Gita. Karanam gunasanga asya sadasad janma jonis. Sad asad janma joni. Joni means the source of birth. Mother is called Joni and father is called Bija. Jatha Joni, Jatha Bijam. According to Bijam and according to Joni, we get body. So why you are getting different types of body? Karanam gunasanga asya. He is contacting a particular type of the modes of material nature. There are 3 modes of material nature: Satagun, Rajagun, Tamagun. So, if I am associating with Satagun, then next life I will get a Satagun body. Urdhang gachanti sattasvat. Satagun body means higher standard of life. So, similarly, if I am associating with the modes of passion, then I will get a body next life, passionate. If I am associating with ignorance, tamogun, jaganna gunavrittistha adho gachanti tamasa. Tamasa, tamavritti, the jaganna, the lowest. There are so many varieties of life. So those who are associating with tamagun, drinking, flesh eating, smoking, illicit sex, gambling, these are the association of tamagun. Jatra papas chaturvidha, where there are 4 kinds of sinful activity. So intoxication is sinful activity. That is tamagun. Associating with tamagun. So Jaganna Gunavrittistya Adho Gachanti Tamasa. Those who are associating with Tamagun, their vritti, their habits are very abominable, Jaganna. Therefore, Adho Gachanti, they go downwards. In this way, everyone is enjoying a particular type of rasa, material rasa, and nature is offering him a particular type of body. Deha yogena dehinam, we can enjoy a particular type of rasa, just like the hogs, they are relishing the rasa of stool very nicely. You give them nice food, they will not take. They will prefer to taste the stool. Why? Because he has been offered a particular type of body. And this particular type of body has been offered to him. Karanam Gunasangahasya. He has associated with Jaganna Tamagun, abominable Tamagun. Therefore he has developed a body of a hog and tasting the juice of stool. This is the way of transmigration of the soul. Actually, it is the living spirit soul, either hog or dog or a Brahmin or a Chandala or a cow. This is simply a covering, just like we cover ourselves in dream. That is subtle covering. Similarly, this is also covering. In the Vedas it is said, Asangaham Purusha. Actually, the living entity, the spirit soul, is neither hog, neither dog, nor Brahmin, nor this, nor that. It is simply a covering. But this covering is developed by our association with the particular type of modes of nature. Karanam gunasanga sadasad janma jonishu. But in this life, if we develop Krishna consciousness by association of devotees, as Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Tadero charana sevi bhakta sane bas. One's aim of life should be to serve the acharyas, acharya upasanam. So, our acharya in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, the Sidhu Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Srijiv Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath, the 6 Goswamis, and if we associate with them, this book, Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, if you read regularly, try to understand, this means you are associating with Srila Rupa Goswami directly. And if you act accordingly, then you are serving their lotus feet. Tadero charana sevi. Bhakta sanivas, and unless you are associated with devotees, you will not be able to understand the import of the writings of Srila Rupa Goswami. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's secretary, Sri Sarup Damodar, recommended one Brahmin, Bhagavat Paragya Bhagavata Sthane. Bhagavat, he came to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to read some poetry he had written, but it was the system that unless anything written, there were many devotees. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living at Puri, Jagannath Puri. So Many devotees from other provinces used to come and visit, and some of them wrote some poetry, but all of them, first of all, would be tasted by Sarup Damodar, and then he will be allowed to go before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and read it. That was his reason. Because people do not know Siddhanta, general people. Those who are advanced devotees, they know Siddhanta, the conclusion. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, therefore, it has been advised, Siddhanta boliya chitte na karo alot, iha hoite Krishne lage sudhira manas. If you neglect Siddhanta, conclusion, given by the Acharyas, then you will misunderstand Krishna. Krishna, therefore, Narottam Das Thakur says, these are the evidences. Rupa Raghunatha pade hoibe akuti, kabe hamo bujha vase jugala piri. Narottam Das Thakur, such an exalted Acharya, he is teaching us, don't try to understand Jugala Piriti, the love affairs between Radha and Krishna concocted by your own concoction. No. You should first of all try to serve the 6 Goswamis. Rupa Raghunatha pade hoibe. How they are directing. Just like this Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Srila Rupa Goswami is not teaching in the beginning the loving affairs of Radha Krishna. No. He is training, first of all, the reader, the devotee, how to become, first of all, pure devotee. Anna vilasita sunnam jnana karmadhanamritam Anukullena Krishnanusilanam Bhaktiruttama. First of all, he is trying to bring the devotee to the standard devotional service. Vidhiman. Then gradually, when he becomes accustomed, then Ragamarga will be revealed. Ragamarga is not artificial. It becomes Sameva Spurattada. Seven Mukhihi Jivhados, everything. Devotional relationship with Krishna, you cannot establish artificially. Everyone has got a particular relationship with Krishna in his original constitutional position. That will be revealed gradually as you advance in devotional service, in the prescribed rules and regulations, as they are directed in the Shastras and by spiritual master. When you are trained up properly, you come to the platform of Ragamarga, then your relationship, that is called Sarup Siddhi. Sarup Siddhi. So Sarup Siddhi is attained at a certain stage. Just like Sarup Siddhi, a desire for sex life is there in every human being. But when the boy and the girl come to the mature stage, it becomes manifest. It is not learned artificial. Similarly, the Ragamarga Sarup Siddhi becomes revealed or manifest. Savanadi Suddha Chitte Karoe Udoy. Udoy, this very word, Udoy, is used just like sun. Sun becomes visible when the sun rises automatically. You cannot force the sun to rise at dead of night. That is not possible. Sun will rise. You just wait. When the time will be right, morning 6 o'clock, you will find the sun. Similarly, the devotional service we have to execute. with patience, with enthusiasm, utsahat, dhairyat, nishchayat, tat karma pravartanat. We must be enthusiastic that I shall engage myself very nicely in Krishna consciousness movement. That is first qualification, enthusiasm. Dullness will not help you. You must be very enthusiastic. My Guru Maharaj used to say, Pran ache jar sehetu pracha. A preacher can, a person can become a preacher if he has got life. A dead man cannot become a preacher. So, he must be very enthusiastic that I shall preach the glories of the Lord to my best capacity. It is not that one has to become very learned scholar to become a preacher. Simply, it requires enthusiasm. So, my Lord is so great, so kind, so beautiful, so wonderful. So I must speak something about my Lord. This is the qualification. Enthusiasm. You may not know Krishna very perfectly. It is not possible to know Krishna very perfectly. Krishna is unlimited. We cannot know Krishna 10%. That is not possible. But Krishna reveals as far as possible you can understand. So, if you are sincere servant of Krishna, utsaha, and if you serve patiently, then Krishna reveals. The example is given in this connection, just like a girl is married. Generally, a girl wants a child. But if she wants a child immediately after marriage, that is not possible. She must wait. She must serve her husband nicely, utsahat dhajyat, tat karma pravartana, just like a faithful wife. Time will come, she will become pregnant and she will have child. So, nishchayat means, just like the girl must know, because she is married, because she has got a husband, that there must be a child. It is a fact. It may be little later. Similarly, when you have entered into devotional service, bhakti yoga, bhakti marga, your success is assured, provided you are enthusiastic and patient. Not that immediately I want a child. Immediately I become fully Krishna consciousness and perfect. No. There may be so many imperfections because we are in the imperfect atmosphere. But patiently, if you go on executing your duties in devotional service as it is directed in the Shastras and confirmed by the spiritual master, then rest assured where your success is guaranteed. This is the way. Utsahat dhajyat tat karma pravartanat. You must execute the duties. Just like we have asked our students to finish 16 rounds chanting, minimum. 16 rounds is nothing. In Vrindavan there are many devotees, they chant 120 rounds, like that. The 16 round is a minimum, because I know in the Western countries it is difficult job to finish 64 rounds or 120 rounds like that. Minimum 16 rounds. That must be finished. Tat karma pravartana. This is the direction. Observing the regulatory principles. In this way, we must be abiding by the direction of the spiritual master and the Shastra. Then rest assured, success is guaranteed. Go on reading this.
If our body at present...
Be the light.
If our body at present is engaged in the activities of Krishna consciousness, then it is guaranteed that we will have at least a human body in our next life.
So one thing is guaranteed, if you engage in Krishna consciousness, and suppose you do not become perfectly mature, somewhere or other you fall down. We should not fall down, because if you have got enthusiasm and patience, we shall not fall down. But suppose we fall down, Shastra says, Tasya abhadra abhut amusaking. There is nothing inauspicity. Because whatever you have done sincerely, that is recorded in the book. In the Krishna's book, Krishna has got accountant. He keeps nice account of the activities of his devotees. That's a fact. Just like the non-devotees' accounts are kept by Jamaraj for punishment. Similarly, devotees' accounts are kept by Krishna personally. Ji jathamang prabaddante tang sathaiva vajamaham. Unless he keeps account, how he says, I respond to the devotee to the proportionate surrender. Ji jathamang prapaddante. The real business is surrender to Krishna. If we surrender immediately, 100%, then Krishna also gives you the result immediately, 100%. Krishna says, Sarva dhamman parityajya mamekam saranam bhaja aham tva sarva papi bhamokhosham. If Krishna relieves me from all kinds of sinful activities, then where is my miserable condition of life? Miserable condition of life is for them who are enjoying or suffering. There is no question of enjoyment, but it is sometimes taken enjoyment. The fruitive action, the result of fruitive action. So a devotee does not enjoy anything or suffer anything, because a devotee does everything for Krishna. So therefore, for his personal self, there is no question of karma phala. That is confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita. Yajñate karma annatra karma bandhana. If you act for Krishna, that is nice. If you act otherwise, then it is karma bandhana. Yajñate karma annatra. Annatra means except Krishna consciousness activities, the activities of the karmis and the jnanis and the yogis, they are all karma bandhan, bound up. Suppose karmis, they are going to the heavenly planet or higher planetary system for getting higher standard of life, to take birth by pious activities in nice family to become rich. But that is bandhana, that is bondage. Similarly, the so-called mukti, jnanis, they merge into the existence, Brahma existence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nirveda Brahmanusandhan, nirved, without any distinction, enter, merge into the Brahma. That is also bandhana, bondage. Why? Because we find in the Shastra, Arujya Krichena Parang Padang Tata Patanti Adha. Arujya Krichena Parang Padam. Parang Padam means Brahmapad. To merge into the effulgence, Brahma Jyoti, that is called Parampad. According to Vaishnava, Parampad means to go to Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan and be engaged as servant, eternal servant of the Lord. But according to the jnanis, the Parampad means merge into the effulgence or Brahma Jyoti. The Shastra says that Arujya Krichena Parang Padam, to go to the Parampadam, that is also not very easy. Krichena, severe austerities and penances one has to undergo to merge into the Brahma effulgence. Therefore you will find the Mayavadi sannyasis, their stricture is very rigid. They must take bath thrice in a day and lie down underneath the tree. Their renunciation is very rigid. Of course, those who are strictly followed. In our Vaishnava sannyas, there is little leniency because they live in Krishna. So there is no need of very strict, rigid following, although it is stated that they should live like this. But there is leniency. But Mayavad, they are very rigid in their principles of sannyas life. That is called Arujya Krichena. With great difficulty, they merge into the Brahma effulgence. Arujya Krichena Param Padam. They attain the perfectional stage, not perfectional, Param Padam, in the spiritual realm. But Patanti Adha again falls down. Again falls down means because in the effulgence there is no varieties. The example is just like you have got a nice Sputnik or what is called?
Apollo.
Apollo. No, by which they go? Rocket. You have got very nice rocket running at the speed of 18,000 miles or 25,000 miles per hour. But you may go. If you don't get shelter in some planet, as they are going in the moon planet, but do not get shelter and come back. Similarly, supposing they are getting shelter, but that shelter is not very secure, they again come back. So, without shelter, how long you can fly in the sky? The sky is unlimited. You can fly on your Sputnik or capsule. But if you don't get the shelter in some planet, then again you come back to your place. So this is the same example is given in the Bhagavad. Arujya Krichena, with great scientific method you can go up, but if you don't get a shelter, then you come back again on this planet. Similarly, the non-devotees, the impersonalists, they undergo severe penances and austerities, undoubtedly. And they rise up to the Brahma Jyoti, Arujya Krichena Parang Padam. Tata Patanti Adha. From there he again falls down. Same example. Why? Anadrita Jusmat Anghaya. Because they did not care for the shelter under the lotus feet of Krishna. Therefore they have to come back again to this material world. That is practically experienced. We have seen many great sannyasis. They give up this world and take sannyas for merging into Brahma. But later on, they come back again to the material activities for opening hospital, schools and philanthropic work. Why? Because they could not get there. In their so-called Brahma realization, they could not get any pleasure. Therefore they come down again to the material activities. You have left this material world as Brahma Sattva Jagan Mithya. Then why you come back again to this Mithya world to open hospitals and schools? The reason is they could not get any pleasure in so-called Brahma realization. Therefore they come back to give food to the poor, to open hospital, philanthropy. Therefore, if you stick to Krishna consciousness, you will enjoy blissful, transcendental blissfulness, then you will not be attracted with this humanitarian work or philanthropic work. Parang drishtya nivartate. In the service of the Lord, there are so much pleasure, transcendental pleasure. Just like in the life of Goswamis, we find Tattva Turnamasi Samandalapati Saneng Sada Tuchava Bhutpa Dina Ganesako Karunaya Kopina Kanthasito Gopi Bhava Rasam Mritadi Lahari Kallolamagano Sada Vande Rupa Sanatana Ragujugau Sri Jiva Gopal. They gave up their ministerial post, Tattva Turnam Asesa Mandalapati Saneng Sada Tuchava. Most insignificant. They gave up their ministerial post and they become mendicant. Tattva Turnam Asesa Mandalapati Saneng Sada Tuchava Bhutva Dina Ganesako Karunaya Kopina Kanthas. Become very poor, voluntarily mendicant. But it is very difficult if one changes his dress artificially by imitating Rupa Goswami. He cannot stay. He will have to take to sex pleasure and intoxication to keep himself fit for bhajan. No. But the Goswamis, they did not take into sex pleasure or intoxication. They were merged into the ocean of the dealings of the gopis with Krishna. Gopi bhava rasam mritadhi lahari. There is a lahari, there is a flow, constant flow of waves in the ocean of loving affairs between Krishna and the gopis. So they were merged into that. Therefore, this renunciation, this material renunciation did not affect. Otherwise, if one artificially renounces this material world, and he does not get real shelter unto the lotus feet of Krishna, he will fall down. That's a fact. Arujya krichena parang padang tata patanti adha anadita jusmadang. So if you want to stay attached to the lotus feet of Krishna, then you must always keep yourself busy in the transcendental loving service of Lord. Thank you very much. Just now I have received for newspaper cutting. This is from South Africa. What is the city's name? Durban. So, these two young Goswamis, they are teaching very successfully in South Africa. And another news I have got, where it is from Midwest of America. Another two Goswamis, they are having very successful meeting in Midwest America. In South Africa, their boys, what is the age of Rishi Kumar?
20.
Yes, his age is only 20 years. Rishi Kumar Goswami left and Khudidas Brahmachari, they have come to South Africa to spread the word, Krishna message for SA, South Africa. So by the grace of Lord Chaitanya, the message of his Lordship is going on nicely all over the world, and you are also members of the society. Try to preach this message. Prithivite ache jato nagaradi gram, and you will get strength the more you preach, because in the Bhagavad Gita the Lord says, Nacha tasmat manusyeshu kaschit me priyakritam jaimang madbhakteshu avidhasati. Anyone who is preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya, Lord Krishna, the same thing. There is no difference. Krishna says that sarva dharman parityajya mam ekang saranam vraja. This is Krishna's message. And Lord Chaitanya says, jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. So there is no difference. Krishna's upadesh is to everyone, that everyone should give up all nonsense type of occupation, kamastasya hitagyana jajanti anna devata. Those who are attached to the worship of demigods, they have been condemned by Krishna. Hitagyana. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has commented on this word, hitagyana, nasta buddhaya. Those who have lost their all intelligence. So, our Krishna consciousness movement is preaching the same as Lord Krishna said and as Lord Chaitanya said. Lord Krishna said that you surrender. He asked everyone, not only Arjuna, through Arjuna, he spoke to everyone. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranasya. He was preaching his own word through Arjuna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is Krishna himself, he is preaching the same message as devotee. So our business is to preach the same message through the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, jare dakho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. So if we follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means to follow the 6 Goswamis. This is called parampara system. Evang parampara praptam mimang rajasayo vidhi. If we follow the parampara system, the same message, what Krishna said, that is also said by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is also said by the Goswamis. Sri Rupa Goswami says, Jena tena prakarena mana Krishna nivesa. Samavaraga. Try to induce people to become Krishna conscious. This is Goswami's, Rupa Goswami's message. Where you are sitting, this is Rupa Goswami's place. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also says the same thing. Jare dakho tare kaho Krishna. So these boys, Rishi Kumar Goswami and others, Satswarup Goswami, Hidayananda Goswami, they are preaching the same message, Krishna message in the paper. Krishna message in South Africa. Krishna message in South Africa. This is very encouraging that Krishna message is being spread as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu desired. Jare dakho tare kaha Krishna upadesh. This is very encouraging. So all of you, of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entrusted the matter to all Indians, especially. Bharat bhumite manusya janma hilo ja. Janma sartha kari karo paropoka. The best welfare activity is spreading this Krishna consciousness movement. So, it was entrusted to all Indians, any Indian who has taken birth as human being. It is the duty of him to spread Krishna consciousness. But anyway, although there is only one Indian, you follow and spread this message extensively. After this Ujjabrata, you will also disperse and go different parts of the world and spread this Krishna consciousness message. The Krishna consciousness message is Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. There is no other Bhagavan. Bhagavan means full of 6 opulences. So Krishna is completely 100% full of all opulences. Even Narayan is 96%. And Lord Shiva is 84%. And Brahma is 78%. These are calculated by the Goswamis. So Krishna is 100% Bhagavan. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Matta Paratanam Nanyat. Nanyat. Nobody. So, simply, you have to, just like our little girl Saraswati, she also preaches. She goes to some friend. She asks, do you know what is Krishna? If he says, no, I do not know very much. So he says, the Supreme Personality of God. That's all. This is preaching. It is not difficult. Simply, just like the child, you go, everyone, talk to everyone, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. That's all. Everyone can do it. It is not very difficult. You believe it. You be convinced on this statement that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. Ishara Parama Krishna. Ishara means controller, governor. So, there are governors, many governors in your country, but they are not supreme governor. Everyone is governor. You are also governor or Ishara, controller, but not the supreme controller. Our message is that here in this material world, there are many controllers, many governors, many Isharas, but nobody is the Supreme Ishara. Supreme Ishara means he has no controller over him. He has no controller over him. He is the Supreme Controller. Here everyone is controller, but he has got another controller over him. But even big demigods, just like Indra, Chandra, Surya, Vayu, Varun, they have also controller. Even Lord Brahma, he is also controlled. Only Krishna or Krishna Tattva, Vishnu Tattva, he is not controlled. He is the supreme controller. So Ishara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadi Radhi Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. This is our message. Now, read.
Bhakti Rasa can be understood by a serious student upon studying the nectar of devotion. Adoption of Bhakti Rasa or Krishna consciousness will immediately bring one to an auspicious life, free from anxieties, and will bless one with transcendental existence, thus minimizing the value of liberation. Bhakti Rasa itself is sufficient to produce a feeling of liberation because it attracts the attention of the Supreme Lord, Krishna.
Yes, people generally think that liberation is the ultimate goal or the full achievement. But liberation is a very insignificant thing in the presence of devotional service. Therefore Bhagavad says, Dharma projita koitava atra. Dharma, artha, kam, moksha. Moksha means liberation. So Bhagavad says that dharma, artha, kam, moksha, they are thrown away from the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. And Siddhartha Swami confirms it, atra mokkha purjantam nirastam. The devotee is above the point of liberation. The devotional service is called Pancham Purushartha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given his opinion, Prema Pumartha Mohan. Not dharma is pumartha. Our ultimate goal of life is neither dharma nor artha, religiosity, economic development, karma, sense gratification, and moksha, liberation. So, people are very busy for economic development. They think that is the highest goal of life. To get money somehow or other. And then after getting money, to satisfy the senses. And when they are defeated in satisfying senses, defeated means everyone is trying to satisfy his senses to the greatest extent. Unfortunately, Maya will not allow him to do so. Daivijhisha gunamayi, mama maya durattvaya. Therefore Bhagavad says, Parabhavastavad abodha jata. Parabhava, the karmis who are trying to satisfy their senses to the highest limit, they are being defeated. It cannot be. Nobody is satisfied with his senses to the greatest extent. In Europe and America, this can be very practically experienced. Many old men, very rich men, 75 years old, 70 years old, they are still going to the club for satisfying senses. That means the sense satisfaction business cannot be completely done even up to the point of death. There are many stories, we have got practical experience, that Akbar Shah inquired from one of his very confidential minister that how long a man is sexually inclined. So the minister replied, up to the point of death. He replied. Akbar did not believe it. But the minister sometimes took him to a man who was just going to die, and the minister requested Akbar Shah to get with him his young daughter. So when the Akbar Shah and his daughter was entering, the man on the deathbed, he was looking to the young girl, not to the Akbar. So he pointed out, just see, and he was convinced, yes. So the sex life is so strong that you cannot be satisfied. If you remain in material existence, then this sex desire will never be satisfied. But it can be satisfied only when you come to Krishna consciousness. This Jamunacharya has said, Jadavadhi mama chitta Krishna padaravinda nava nava dhama rantumasi tadavadhi batanari sangame smarjamane bhavati mukha vikara sustu nisti varancha. Sri Jamunacharya says, since I have been engaged in serving the lotus feet of Krishna, from that time I do not anymore have any desire for sex life. Even if I do remember of sex life, I want to spite on it. So this is the result. Krishna is Madan Mohan. Madan Mohan, Madan, Cupid, he agitates everyone for sex life. But if we actually be attached to see the beauty of Krishna, then we shall never be enamored by the arrows of Cupid. Parang dishta nivartate. So, what is the subject matter?
Minimizing the value of liberation.
This is the position of the materialistic person. Therefore, sometimes they take to the path of rejection, giving up. Brahma Sattva Jagan Mithya. They come by knowledge, by advancement of knowledge, but sometimes that also becomes failure. Even liberation, I have several times explained that many persons on the platform of liberation also falls down. Arujya krichena parang padang tataha patanti adha anadita jusmat anga. One who does not take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna, even he is raised to the platform of liberation. There is chance of fall down. Arujya krichena parang padam. Parang padam means liberation. Not material platform, but param padam, spiritual platform. A spiritual platform means liberation. So, unless one is attached to Arujya krichena parang padam tata patanti adha, why they fall down? Anadrita jusmat anga. One who neglects to worship the lotus feet of Krishna, even he is on the liberation platform, mukti, there is chance of falling down. And there are many examples. One.
Bhakti Rasa itself is sufficient to produce a feeling of liberation because it attracts the attention of the Supreme Lord, Krishna.
Yes. As soon as you are engaged in the service, loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately you feel liberation. This is practical. When you are fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, even if you walk on the street, you will feel that I am separate from this person. I am walking on a different path. This is the feeling. Bhakti Parishanubhava. This is bhakti. Parishanubhava. You will experience yourself. That is the test. If you experience yourself that I am different from this person, then where is the attachment for material things? So that is the test. How much you have become advanced in devotional service. You can experience yourself. The example is given, just like a hungry man, if he is given food, if he eats, then he experiences himself that he is getting strength, his hunger is being satisfied. These things will be experienced. He hasn't got to take certificate from others whether I am advancing in spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness. He will feel himself. Bhakti Parishanubhava Virakti Annatasya. This is the test. Just like Goswamis, the 6 Goswamis, they were ministers. How they gave up their lucrative service, engagement. Tattva turnam masesa mandalapati saning sada tuchava. They gave up their minister, high post, association of aristocratic families. Mandalapati Sreni. They were themselves not only Mandalapati, great leaders, but they were associated with great leaders. But they gave up everything. Why? Parang drishtya nivartate. They found something better. in Krishna consciousness, therefore they are able to give up, just like you are. You are European American boy. You are accustomed to better, comfortable life, I know. But you have given up your better, comfortable life, and you have learned, or you are satisfied lying down on the floor without any bedding. How you are being practiced to it? Because you are trying to find out a better engagement. Parang drishtani vartate. Sometimes in your country they are surprised how we are living without furniture. Because without furniture living is impossible. Sometimes in the beginning, when I was accommodated in some apartment, the landlord used to inquire, "Oh, where is your furniture?" So, they do not know, they don't require furniture. We can lie down anywhere. It doesn't matter whether in a nice apartment or underneath the tree. That doesn't matter. So how these things happen? Unless one becomes little advanced, one has got little taste in devotional service, they cannot give up this material comforts. The Goswamis are the best example. They were coming from very, very aristocratic family. They did not join the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement out of poverty stricken. No. All of them, 6 Goswamis, just like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, they were very, very big men, ministers, very rich men. Similarly, Raghunath Das Goswami, he was the only son of his father and uncle. And at that time, his father and uncle had 12 lakhs of rupees income. So, you cannot imagine what is the exchange of 12 lakhs of rupees 500 years ago. So, very rich man. Similarly, Sri Gopal Bhattan, Sri Jiva Goswami, he was the jewel of all learned philosophers. That is acknowledged even by the greatest philosophers of the world.